Blessings and welcome everyone. Just a reminder before we begin. Your rising sign horoscope will give you additional clarity as to how a great deal of your sun sign horoscope may show up, and your moon sign horoscope will give you the less prominent side story that'll also be playing out for this 2-week period. Remember, horoscopes serve best when observed, like a weather or traffic report. You have influence over all outcomes with your thoughts, actions, choices, and deeds. Use the information that presents to help you make the highest choices for the highest outcomes. If you wish to schedule any of my services or like access to more content via my Patreon, follow the links below or go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. Hi there, Leo. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to the week starting April 12th, 2021. And just a quick heads up for all y'all out there, if you are part of my Patreon, the bonus weekly astrology report will be up here this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And remember, we are doing double readings now, so we are getting more info, 2 cards per section. And for the astrology I want to talk about in this episode, well, we've actually got a new moon that occurs on the 12th in Aries, your 9th house of higher education, government and legal proceedings, travel, culture, worldliness, your reach abroad. And this is forming a very strong sextile to Mars, which is currently in Gemini, your 11th house of friendships and social networking. Now, this opens up a very interesting 2 weeks for everybody, but in your case, what we're seeing is some kind of opportunity that is coming to you either through, again, your social circle, whether, especially that which might be a bit more expansive, possibly like an online friend, or maybe a friend who lives in another country, or maybe your spiritual circle or academic circle, that is also going to not only become more close and more active and involved, but with Mars in the 11th house, there actually seems to be a joining of forces to either meet a challenge or embark on some kind of journey that turns out to be incredibly profitable for all parties involved. This could be something that helps you actually get a lot of attention for a personal launch, or maybe if the two of you partner up on this, a launch for the both of you. Or maybe even something that shortens the distance between you and this person, right? Because with the new moon sextile to Mars, we are actually seeing, I guess you could say, kind of like a brother-sister in arms, unity kind of energy that is actually helping everybody, with their own respective journeys, as well as the joint journey of this friendship or this alliance, actually reach a new height, which is really, really cool. As we get on to your spiritual themes for this week, you have the Death card reversed and the World card upright. And so this week, the Death card reversed, well, it's time to be paying attention to some balancing that needs to happen when it comes to transitions that are not happening in a timely fashion. With the Death card reversed, I feel as though this has a lot to do with a need for a purge of a lot of things that ultimately have been maybe elongated in their lifespan, or maybe elongated in your experience, or allowed to simply persist, that actually have no place in your world anymore. With the Death card reversed, sometimes we have to look at things that won't let us go and find a way to cut ourselves loose. Sometimes we have to do that with people, people who are not allowing us to expand or grow, or maybe they're not getting over us, or they're still attached. Or maybe with the Death card reversed, some of you may yourselves be in a state of bargaining or negotiating or processing that is past its time. This is a week where a lot of new chapters are opening up, and so any kind of old business that is actually done business needs to be done. This can also, however, be a sign for those of you who, who think you might be done with something, but you're really not, to pay attention to something that you are prolonging facing, while assuming that by not dealing with it, it's already done. This can sometimes happen where, sometimes people might get real busy, kind of running from their problems by getting really productive, running in transit, it's kind of like, well, how about I just stay active and I'll just make it look like, to myself anyway, that I'm over it, or this is all done, or this problem's taken care of, because look at all of these new distractions I've created, and look at all of these things that I've slashed and burned. Be careful with that. That's not authentic. And this week, and I'm saying this as well to myself as a Leo moon, we've all got to be responsible. With the World card upright, this week is going to be beautiful. When we talk about successful transitions, when we talk about humongous breakthroughs, the World card upright is talking about a lot of you Leo people stepping into a space where you are actually able to begin a completely brand new life, as though a lot of this old business that we've been talking about, was really kind of like an old movie. Maybe not necessarily that it didn't exist, but it's no longer registered on your consciousness in such a way that it's a big influence. The World card is also indicating here that a lot of you might be seeing a lot of long-standing journeys come full circle to a complete and very satisfying conclusion. So the prolonging of those conclusions as well is not advised. With this all happening, with Death reversed and the World card upright, I would anticipate a great deal of level ups to your quality of life as well. As we get on to your material shifts when it comes to your work, your job, and your finances, we've got the Fool upright, and we have the Two of Cups reversed. And with the Fool upright, I'm actually seeing a very promising new opportunity that is going to take you out of your comfort zone or take you out of your element, whether it means dropping you in another area of your field, or maybe even something that pulls you into an industry, a customer base, a client base, or maybe just a set of duties that you're going to have to get acclimated to because it's incredibly foreign. However, with the Fool card upright, there is a lot of incentive to do this because this may actually be something that is quite cutting edge. We might be actually finding that this is not only very well funded and well supportive of you, but it's ahead of a trend that is overriding and overwriting what has been normal in your field this last few years. As we get on to your Two of Cups reversed, however, I do feel there may be some squabbling, some battling going on when it comes to a financial or professional matter, especially when it comes to somebody that is actually actively trying to avoid progress, to avoid change in some way. Sometimes with the Two of Cups reversed, we kind of see that people that might even, for all intents and purposes, should be considered on our team, especially if they're like a customer or a business partner, may not necessarily be actually doing their part. If anything, they may actually start behaving as a hindrance in some way due to a fear of impending change, impending progress that they're not prepared for. The Fool card upright, interestingly enough, is promising you this opportunity and not them. So I don't think you have to be stuck with them, but be careful about staying in a situation that's no good for you just to say you are loyal, because sometimes that's just codependency. As we get on to your communications with friends, relatives, other people in your life, you actually have the Queen of Cups reversed and the Knight of Swords reversed. Okay. People, remember, this is platonic relationships, by the way. The love-hungry people always assume this has to do with love, and I'm not talking about love here. So we're talking about friends, relatives, the guys, the girls. So when it comes to the Queen of Cups reversed, I am seeing that there is something going on this week where you may actually have to put somebody in their place that is actually behaving as a petulant adult child. With the Queen of Cups reversed, we are actually seeing somebody that is actually going out of their way to drain you, or maybe going out of their way to, cling on to you, to siphon from you. And I feel like in a very, unhealthy way, they've kind of made you their caregiver when you are not. And they may have a tendency to do this with a lot of people, but with the Queen of Cups reversed, it's important for you to understand that, this is not necessarily your job, and it may actually be something that they are fully aware that they're doing. It could be a survival tactic, a manipulation tactic. You need to know when to stop getting sucked in. As we get on to the Knight of Swords reversed, I'm also seeing another conflict with a friend or a relative that may have to do with somebody that is actually becoming their own downfall. With the Knight of Swords reversed, I'm actually seeing you defending someone or something you deeply care about from another person that maybe not so much anymore you thought you deeply cared about or thought you deeply understood. The Knight of Swords reversed, it's important to understand that this is usually kind of a sign of difficulty with emotional regulation. This could be a situation where a person doesn't even know why they've gone from 0 to 14 in a second, or why they are so riled up. This is not something I think that can be reasoned. It might just be something that needs to be put on timeout for now. Maybe check it out next week. As we get on to your challenges this week, you do have the World upright. Another World. You got both the World cards. And the Three of Wands reversed. Okay, so your biggest challenge with the World card upright, well, conclusions, right? Making sure that conclusions and transitions are actually firm and real. When we have the World as a challenge, it's time to pay attention to where we need to stop the backsliding and close any kind of doors that might enable or encourage backsliding from us or in our environment. With the Death card reversed, the World card upright, this could easily be a situation where there could be a problem that can only be concluded by somebody, actually saying, and that's a wrap. The World card is also indicating for you, Leo people, allow yourself to actually transcend and grow and move on up into higher places and higher spaces. Do not allow yourself to be artificially humbled by insecure people who can't stand watching people with talent grow. Knight of Swords reversed, Queen of Cups reversed. Sometimes the World card upright can show up where we're about to have a big breakthrough, but you're going to need to pay attention to where artificial humbling, keeping yourself down for another person's status quo is a bad habit you've got to drop. As we get on to the Three of Wands reversed, staying in communication, also going to be crucial. This is your personal challenge, Leo, answering people. Because the Three of Wands reverse is indicating that you really want to stay consistently up to date this week. And it may be tempting to kind of procrastinate responding to texts and emails and phone calls. Or it may be that you need to do some serious following up when it comes to messages you thought you got out there but have not reached your intended. And there could be some issues coming up with things not getting to where you sent them as well. So we're going to have to be a little bit attentive with that. As we get on to your relationships with love, romance, and partnerships, you have the Hierophant upright and the Moon card reversed. And with the Hierophant card upright, I'm seeing a lot of you Leo people actually being very happy when it comes to love and romance, because it does look like there seems to be some kind of pairing opportunity occurring through a joint passion or joint interest that goes very deep for you. Now, this could be spiritual, this could be creative, this could even be, maybe a pairing or a connection that is happening through either school. But what I'm looking at the Hierophant is there's also a very strong resonance going on that is not on the material. This definitely feels as though there is a spiritual element. when I do my incoming waves and evolving field activities. The Hierophant card is sort of, in its highest, in a higher dimensional way, is the Oversoul. Moving the Oversoul incarnate around. And so you may also be finding that there could be some soul stories actually unfolding for you and somebody new in your group. Or maybe it's you and a partner actually establishing a new sense of social family with somebody that, would be a great soul family member for the two of you. As we get onto the Moon card reversed, I'm also seeing something being unveiled, something coming out of hiding or coming out of secret. This could be a partner sharing something with you, either something that was shared with them or something they want to share with you in confidence, or something that has been kept a secret for a long time that you guys are finally getting a chance to have out in the open or figure out as a couple. Maybe it was something kept from both of you. Or maybe with those of you who are currently single and looking, also something coming out of the blue, maybe news of an old crush or an old interest, or maybe even something coming out of hiding in pursuit of romance or, the opportunity for romance with you. So that's what I've got for you, Leo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.